20-F00580, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Flood Mitigation Structures, Protecting Major Strategic Public Buildings, Facilities, Construction of Road, Dike Structure along Ilawod, Ligban River, Barangay Ligban, Camalig, Albay, Camalig, Albay, Second Legazpi District. Second is 25-F00607, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, Multipurpose Buildings, Facilities, to support social services, construction of multipurpose covered court, Barangay Bigaa, Legazpi City, Albay, Legazpi, Albay, Second Legazpi District. And lastly is 26F00103, Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, BIP, access roads and or bridges from the national roads, leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, construction of road, Mayon Circumferential Road, Station 0+000 to Station 3+200, Package 1, Camalig, Albay, Second Legazpi District. So before we proceed with the presentation of the procurement requirements for the aforesaid projects, let me introduce to you the attendees for today's activity, starting with myself as the BOC chairperson, Attorney Baraga, at the same time the chief of the Right of Way Acquisition and Legal Division, and my right is Dr. Maria Chudora Pilo Santas, BOC vice chairperson and the chief of the Administrative Division, and my left is Engineer Benjamin J. Vitri Jr., BOC regular member, and the chief of the Quality Assurance and Hydrology Division, Engineer Arnel L. Samson, BOC provisional member and the chief of the Maintenance Division, and Engineer L.B. M. Nasayo, BOC DPWH, and the assistant chief of the Construction Division. And may also recognize the presence of our representative from prospective bidders for contract ID number 25F00607. We have Mr. Mark Aris Ras from Hydrabil Construction. And also for contract ID number 26F00103 from Atlantic Erectors Incorporated, Ms. Maria Francia F. Biares and her company. Okay. So to continue, may I call on Engineer Mariel to present to us the eligibility requirements as well as the technical and financial components of the procurement project at hand.
For eligibility requirements, eligibility of respective bidders is determined using single works application which mechanically processes the compliance with the Class A documents such as the legal, technical, and financial documents. Prospective bidders are encouraged to regularly update respective records and suitable following requirements. For Class A documents, legal documents, number 1, registration certificate in SEC for corporate organizations, DPI for sole proprietorship, or CDA for cooperative. Number 2, mayor's or business permit issued by the city or municipality where the principal place of the prospective bidder is located, or the equivalent document for excluded economic zones or areas. Be updated to judge registration shall be submitted in the technical document component of the bid to be considered eligible. The renewed mayor's or business permit shall also be submitted as a post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 63.2 of the IRR Bar 12009. The same should apply to the other Class A eligibility documents. Number 3, tax clearance for A 398 series of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. For technical documents, number 4, statement of the prospective bidder of all its completed and ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contracted bid. Number 5, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, similar to the contract of the bid except under conditions provided for in Section 52.4.2.4 of the IRR Bar 12009. All of the above statements 4 and 5 shall include all information required in the PBD's prescribed LGBT. For 52.4.2.4, the bidder must have completed an SLCC that is similar to the procurement project in the bid, and whose value adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided that any change to the 50% requirement may be allowed subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPTB for consideration. provided further that contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience in the procurement project to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of their registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the Bigaa. Moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the procurement project if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents what is regarded as major categories of work, guided by the principle of proportionality and fit-for-purpose approach. For the entire DPWH, determination of major categories of work are defined in Department Order 164 Series of 2025. For 52.4.2.5, the SLCC shall be supported by owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than a contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES, or a similar performance monitoring system. In the case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. 52.4.2.6, the computation of a bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to the bid, calculated as follows. NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities multiplied by 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects and their ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started coinciding with the procurement project to be bid, provided that a different formula may be adopted subject to the recommendation of the procurement, which shall be submitted to the GPTB for consideration. The value to domestic bidders' current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest AFS submitted to the BIA. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective field job certificates of registration in accordance with Section 20.2.9.1 of this IR. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitutes compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all its ongoing contracts. Number 6, valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board license or PICAB license or special PICAB license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost for the contract of the bid. For financial documents, number 7, prospective bidders' audited financial statements showing among others the prospective bidders' total and current assets and liabilities, stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. Number 8, the prospective bidders' computation of net financial contracting capacity. The computation of a prospective bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to the bid, calculated as follows. NFCC equals current assets minus current liabilities multiplied by 15, minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts ready to be started coinciding with the contract of the bid. The values of the domestic bidders' current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the BIR. For Class B documents, joint venture bidders shall submit the JVA in accordance with Section RA 45 with RA 4566 and its IRR. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit their respective field job certificates of registration in accordance with Section 20.2.9.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. The same should, the submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitute compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all its ongoing contracts and audited financial statements. Other technical requirements: if joint venture agreement, with securities applicable with securing declaration, ISO 9000 certification or its latest version applicable, duly signed organizational chart, duly signed list of key personnel for the contract, with supporting affidavits of commitment to work on the contract by the key personnel, and DO 98 series of 2016, revised guidelines on the accreditation of contractors or consultants, materials engineers. For the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. For the proposed position as applicable, project manager, total similar related years of experience 5 years, similar position 5 years. Project engineer, total similar related years of experience 3 years, similar position 3 years. Materials engineer, Total similar related years of experience, 3 years. Similar position, 3 years. Foreman, total similar and related years of experience, 2 years. Similar position, 2 years. Construction safety officer and others. Other technical requirements. Duly signed list of contractors' major construction and laboratory equipment pledged to the contract. Please refer to DO 11 series of 2017 for the minimum materials testing equipment in section 63.3B of RA 12009 in relation to item 16.5 of the Philippine Bidding Document May 2025 edition. Certification as to the availability of equipment under lease agreement or under purchase agreement must be notarized. Omnibus Forms 8. The minimum major equipment requirements for contract ID number 25F00580 are the following. Bulldozer, all models, capacity is 167 HP, required is 1. Payloader, all models, capacity is 1.5 cubic meter or 1.9 cubic yard, 110 HP, required is 1. Motorized road grader, all models, capacity is 163 HP, required is 1. Vibratory roller, capacity is 10 metric tons, 125 HP, required is 1. Crawler crane, standard group, all models, 36 to 40 metric tons, 190 HP, required is 1. Backhoe, all models, 0.80 cubic meter or 1.05 cubic yard, 150 HP, required is 1. Backhoe wheel mounted, all models, 0.28 cubic meter or 0.37 cubic yard, 50 HP, required is 1. Vibro hammer, all models, 60 ton, 201 HP, required is 1. Transit mixer, all models, 5 cubic feet per minute, 175 HP, required is 4. Dump truck, all models, 12 cubic yard, 290 HP, required is 3. Cargo or service truck, all models, 9 to 10 metric tons, 270 HP, required is 1. Water truck or pump, all models, 16,000 liters, 360 HP, required is 1. Concrete batch plant with updated calibration certificate, 30 cubic meter, required is 1. Low bed trailer, 25 metric tons, required is 1. Truck tractor, required is 1. Support equipment genset under OCM, 5 kVA, required is 1. Support equipment power lights 2 by 400 watts under OCM, 5 HP, required is 2. Support equipment automatic level under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Support equipment total station under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Payloader, all models, at disposal area, 1.5 cubic meter or 1.95 cubic yard, 110 HP, required is 1. Cargo or service truck, all models, 13 to 15 metric tons, 320 HP, required is 1. For contract ID number 25F00607, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. Dump truck, all models, capacity is 10 cubic meter, 290 HP, required is 1. Support equipment genset under OCM, 5 kVA, required is 1. Support equipment automatic level under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Support equipment total station under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Support equipment power lines 2 by 400 watts under OCM, 5 HP, required is 1. Truck mounted crane, standard lattice, all models, 21 to 25 metric tons, 200 HP, required is 1. For contract ID number 26F00103, the minimum major equipment requirements are the following. Bulldozer, all models, capacity is 167 HP, required is 1. Payloader, all models, 1.5 cubic meter or 1.95 cubic yard, 110 HP, required is 1. Motorized road grader, all models, 163 HP, required is 1. Vibratory roller, all models, 10 metric tons, 125 HP, required is 1. Crawler crane, standard boom, all models, 36 to 14 metric tons, 190 HP, required is 1. Backhoe, all models, 0.80 cubic meter or 1.05 cubic yard, 150 HP, required is 1. Backhoe wheel mounted, all models, 0.28 cubic meter or 0.37 cubic yard, 50 HP, required is 1. Vibro hammer, all models, 60 tons, 201 HP, required is 1. Transit mixer, all models, 5 cubic feet per minute, 175 HP, required is 4. Dump truck all models, 12 cubic yard, 290 HP, required is 3. Cargo or service truck all models, 2 to 5 metric tons, 160 HP, required is 1. Boom truck all models, 197 HP, required is 1. Cargo or service truck all models, 9 to 10 metric tons, 270 HP, required is 1. Water truck or pump all models, 16,000 liters, 360 HP, required is 1. Concrete batch plant with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Capacity is 30 cubic meter. Low bed trailer, 25 metric tons, required is 1. Truck tractor, required is 1. Support equipment genset under OCM, 5 kVA, required is 1. Support equipment tower lights, 2 by 400 watts under OCM, 5 HP, required is 2. Support equipment automatic lamp under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Support equipment total station under OCM with updated calibration certificate, required is 1. Cargo or service truck all models, 13 to 15 metric tons, 320 HP, required is 1. Other financial requirements: duly signed bid form. All pages must have signature box in the standard format of the bid form. Duly signed bill of quantities including summary of bid prices. Duly signed or initial detailed estimates. Further instructions or clarifications on the submission of technical and financial documents. Bidders are required to include ISO 9001:2015 certification or its latest versions applicable as part of the project requirements in the bidding documents for infrastructure projects through Department Requirement Number 110 Series of 2024, implementation of ISO 9001:2015 certification, requirement for large A, medium B, medium A contractors in the procurement of infrastructure projects of the department. For those who wish to use bid securing declaration as bid security, use the new format for Department Memorandum Circular T5 Series of 2020, uploaded in the PhilJets and DPWH websites. Similarly, use the uploaded new Omnibus Warrant Statement format. Prospective bidders are required to use the appropriate and correct format of the Omnibus Warrant Statement pertaining to the authority of the signatory according to the type of the business organization. For example, single proprietorship, corporate, cooperative, or joint venture. Failure to do so will be treated as a misdeclaration by the prospective bidder and will be a ground for the non-compliance of the bid. Prospective bidders are reminded of the provision that equipment capacity, as is specified in the bid data sheet, shall be mandatory and absence of the same shall disqualify the contractor. All requirements stated in the bid data sheet are mandatory, hence in the same manner that the items of work and the corresponding quantities involved are fixed in mandatory in the bill of quantities. The type of equipment, their respective capacities and number of units required are also mandatory in the list of equipment pledged for the contract. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of pledged equipment and the specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post disqualification and forfeiture of the bid security. The TWG shall conduct inspection of the pledged equipment as to their availability and efficiency. Equipment pledged for one awarded project shall not be pledged to another project bid out on the same date or immediate date after the bidding of the awarded project. Equipment pledged on several projects bid out on the same date, wherein the bidder is potentially the winner of these projects, will be ground for the bidder's post disqualification in the other projects. Review documents to be submitted to avoid ineligibility and non-compliance of bid. Check the validity of permits, licenses, registrations, and clearances. Check the completeness of the form and substance of the bid security, affidavits, declarations, and other notarized documents. Use the new bid form for Infrastructure GPTB Resolution Number 16-2020 and circularizing the DPWH through DO 85 Series of 2020. All entries required in the bill of quantities, such as those for the unit price, the words and figures, and the total price for the item for both lump sum and non-lump sum items of work should be properly filled in. Lump sum cost in the bill of quantities must be supported with detailed cost estimate, showing the direct and indirect costs, including tax. Provision of overhead contingencies and miscellaneous for special items under the general requirements of facilities where the engineer shall not be exempted. Discounts offered in handwritten text in the bid form should be signed or initialed by the authorized managing officer who is authorized to sign the bid documents. Otherwise, the discount will not be exempted. Erasures, interlineation, overwriting, and alterations in any document should likewise be signed or initialed by the authorized managing officer. Brief explanations on the criteria for eligibility screening, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification. Process and criteria for eligibility processing shall be in accordance with sections 52.1 and 52.2 of the IRR of RA 12009. And the contract profile based on DO 164 series of 2025 revised guidelines for the determination of major and similar categories of work. Electronic eligibility processing through the Silververse application shall be conducted simultaneous or ahead of the opening of the technical documents, depending on the consistency of the network connectivity with CWA. Preliminary examination of bids shall be conducted in accordance with Section 59 of the IRR of Article 009. Bids that fail to include any requirements in the checklist or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be considered as failed. Detailed evaluation of bids shall be in accordance with Section 61 of the IRR of Article 009. Bids shall be checked as a completeness, arithmetical corrections will be performed, and computational errors, and omissions will be corrected to enable proper comparison and equal footing of all eligible bids. Post-qualification shall be conducted in accordance with Rule 10, post-qualification of the IRR of Article 009. Verification, validation, and ascertainment of all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid, using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents covering the legal, technical, and financial requirements. The provisions of the IRR of Article 009 and the DPWH Procurement Manual 2, infrastructure shall govern the procurement. Instructions on the purchase of bidding documents. Only the owner of the firm or the authorized representatives named the CRFC shall be allowed to transact business relative to bidding matters and purchase bidding documents for DO 176, series of 1993, and as reiterated in DO 187, series of 2001. Those representatives not included in the CRC are required to submit special power of attorney or secretary certificate, whichever is applicable. The authorized representatives issued with SPA or secretary certificate shall be required to present two valid government-issued identification cards and a print-out copy of the document request list and projects posting of the contract with the bid showing the name of their construction firm. The back secretariat will not be responsible for the failure by the bidder to pay the bidding document in time for the bid dropping due to late arrival, delayed processing of order of payment for collection order, and late payment of the bidding documents. Loss of the order of payment and supporting documents already released or issued by the back secretariat is not the responsibility of the back secretariat. Only the signatory may cancel and or revise the duly signed letter of authority to purchase bid documents. Bidding documents payments made for cancelled projects due to no funds approved or released, and for disapproved modification and for late release projects that have already exceeded the 3-month period for award are non-refundable as a matter of policy of the DPWH Regional Office 5. All prospective bidders shall attach to the technical component of bidding documents are the following: straight line diagram in accordance with templates prescribed under Annexes A-3 and D-5A to D of DO number 246 series of 2024. Latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities Exchange Commission for corporations and sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership following the templates as shown in pages 22 and 23 of the bidding forms, ITB and GCC, including sole proprietorship. Instructions on the submission and dropping of bids. Follow the checklist of the technical and financial document requirements uploaded with the BD documents for the contract to the bidder. Absence of any required document shall be considered as failed in compliance, of compliance with the required document and non-compliance of the bid. Chronologically arrange the documents in accordance with the checklist for the technical and financial documents. Provide index tab pagination and security behind the documents. Affix initial on all the pages of the documents. The initials on the pages together with the pagination affirm the authenticity of the pages that they are indeed part of the submitted B documents. Submit duly signed original and non-machine copy of the B documents. Machine copies of the documents must be from the original. Place the original technical document in an envelope and security seal it. Put a marking on the envelope containing the following text: original technical document, the name of the back chairperson, name and address of the procuring entity, contract ID, and the name of the project, and indicate do not open before 10 a.m. of August 3, 2026. Do the same for the original financial documents and put both the original technical and financial envelopes into one outer envelope. Label the outer envelope as original bid, including the other text for the marking. Do the same above procedures for the copy by marking the envelopes as copy 1 for the technical and financial envelopes as well as the outer envelope. Put the envelopes labeled original bid in copy 1 in one mother envelope and put the marking containing the text, name of the back chairperson, name and address of the procuring entity, the contract ID, and name of the project, and indicate do not open before 10 a.m. of August 3, 2026. Sample illustrations on the instructions on the submission and wrapping of bids. For the memorandum dated May 28, 2026, with the subject strengthening disclosure of ongoing and awarded projects and verification of net financial contracting capacity in DPWH procurement. In the interest of ensuring transparency, accuracy, and strict compliance with procurement laws and regulations, this memorandum is hereby issued to reiterate and strengthen existing policies on the disclosure of ongoing and awarded projects and the verification of the net financial contracting capacity of bidders in the DPWH procurement. Pursuant to RA number 12009, its implementing rules and regulations, and relevant DPWH issuances, all concerned offices are hereby directed to strictly observe the following. Number 1, disclosure during pre-bid conferences. All bids and awards committees shall expressly remind prospective bidders during pre-bid conferences of their obligation to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contracts, including DPWH, other government and private contracts, by submitting the duly accomplished statement. The BACs shall also remind that failure to submit and declare any ongoing and awarded but not yet started contract constitutes a ground for disqualification and imposition of appropriate sanctions. Number 2, strengthen NFCC verification during post-qualification. BACs shall ensure that NFCC verification during post-qualification is diligently undertaken using a complete set of information, including but not limited to letter A, the bidder's statement of ongoing and awarded contracts but not yet started, submitted latest audited financial statement, and NFCC complete. Letter B, official DPWH records reflected in the civil works application, project and contract management application, and other relevant department databases. And letter C, results of verification with other government agencies and private entities. Verification shall not rely solely on the submitted NFCC information of the bidder or a single database, but shall consider all available and updated records to ensure accurate determination of the bidder's financial capacity. Number 3, imposition of sanctions. Where verification establishes material misrepresentation, false statements, or non-disclosure of any ongoing or awarded but not yet started contracts that affect eligibility or violate the bidding documents, BACs shall impose the appropriate sanctions under RA number 12009 and its IRR, including post-qualification and or suspension or blacklisting. other important matters, prospective bidders are encouraged to conduct site inspection for them to determine whether this is the right project for them. Decisions of the back amending any provision of the bidding documents should be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Minutes of the pre-bid conference will be posted in the back bulletin board, and prospective bidders are encouraged to read the minutes. Prospective bidders are also encouraged to regularly visit the postings on the fieldworks and DPWH websites to keep themselves abreast of the supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the law. Prospective bidders are also encouraged to participate in documents and activities prospective bidders should purchase copies of their ballots and resi licenses and possible copies to their bidding are: number 1, no bids are all prospective bidders are declared eligible. All bids fail to comply with all bid documents or fail post-certification. Or number 4, the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid refuses without justifiable cause to accept the award contract, and the award is made in accordance with section 40 of the drafting cycle.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Mariel. Also, we would like to recognize the presence of Attorney Alex Lacuna, Engineer Alex Lacuna, back provisional member, and the chief of the construction division. Attorney Engineer. Okay, so after the presentation of the eligibility and financial requirements for the projects, I hear from our prospective bidders if you have any queries or point of clarifications about the discussed information. Wala
May
po?
yung ating 12009, may mga bagong forms yun. Make sure na yun ang gagamitin nyo. At meron ding requirement kami, hindi ko alam sa ibang agency, pero dito sa DPWH, require namin kayo ng beneficial ownership, ano ba yun? Disclosure.
Yes, sir, included the services.
Kung single proprietor kayo, walang problema kasi kasama nyo sa OSS na i-declare nyo, pipirmahan at inonotarize. Pero kung corporate kayo, kailangan nyo mag-attach ng kopya ng beneficial ownership ninyo. Nandoon siya sa sinubmit ninyo sa SEC registration. So nandoon siya. Nagre-require din kami ngayon ng inyong list of ongoing projects. Okay? Kasi sa kayong SLCC, kasi pinapa-verify na sa amin yung aside from yung ating processing sa CWA, pinapa-verify din sa amin yung inyong NFCC. Kailangan nyo. As well as, kailangan nandoon din yung inyong field gaps registration. Kasama siya sa technical document. At ano ba ang mga project na yan? May roads ba dyan? Kasi kung roads ang mga project, kailangan nyo ng straight line diagram. Pero kung building naman, wala na.
Convergence.
Kanina, binasa kanina yung equipment requirement.
Ilang road lang? Covered court isa.
May, baka narinig nyo binanggit yung batching plan. Kailangan meron siyang calibration. Okay? Yung calibration na sinasabi namin ay private calibrating service. Hindi yung huwag kayong mag-attach ng certification coming from the BRS nung batching plan kasi hindi yung calibration certificate. As well as baka meron ding nabanggit dyan yung total station or automatic level, may calibration din na hinihingi. Kung sasalihan nyo yung tatlong yan na project at gusto nyo mapanalunan yung tatlo, iba-ibang equipment yung ilagay ninyo, huwag magpapare-pareho. Okay? Para wala tayong problema. Magkakano ba ang ABC niyan?
Dito is 103, 300.
O 300. May requirement tayo ng ISO. Pag may ISO kayo, Accredited Project Engineer 3. Tama? 2 lang ba? At 2 lang ba ang ano? Tapos Materials Engineer 2. May accreditation yun ha? Okay.
Sabi ako, hindi ako nakuha sa inyo.
Ano pa ba ang mga detalye na kailangan ma-explain?
Yung requirement naman sir, yung mga submission ng ongoing projects and that started na discuss nila.
Na-discuss na.
Yes, na-discuss.
So yun mo lang sige.
Completed.
Sir, one sir, declare ko lang po ulit. Yung straight line diagram sir, sa mga roads lang na ano po.
Roads.
Pag building po na project, hindi naman.
Sir Ramel.
Yung
Pag-building,
patindo. One joke. Dahil na po, record.
Sige pa.
Hydra plan kayo. Di ba may batching plan kayo? Iba pa ba yun?
Small pa lang po.
Hydrocore.
Hydra course.
Kaya ano yun?
Legazpi.
Kung
Bales.
Iba pala.
Iba man po.
Iba na.
Hindi ba hydra ko?
Hydra builders lang yata sila. Hindi
Basta hydra ko.
Kung Bales.
Dominican.
Parang hindi.
Yung materials testing equipment, siguraduhin yung meron kayo doon na naka-attach pati yung proof of ownership nga pala. Ito pa pala, sige. Pagka kayo ay nag-lease sa ibang contractor or private leasing company na equipment, dapat merong lease contract signed and notarized by both parties. Plus, yung certification of availability of equipment nung taong magpapaarkila sa inyo. Sign and notarized din yun. Plus, yung proof of ownership niya, yung magpapaarkila sa inyo, na meron talaga siya nun. Kasi iisa-isain yun. Okay? Of course, yung mga owned ninyo, dapat meron ding proof of ownership.
Siguro sir, i-add ko na lang kasi na-discuss naman yung sa technical and financial. Ano na lang po, siguro, during the dropping of bids, if you are not the representative assuring the CRC, please submit unauthorized special power of attorney as representative to drop the bid for the said project. Yun lang.
So, ulitin ko ulit ha. Ang 12009 may mga ilabas na form para sa 12009. Pagka nag-submit kayo ng 9184, nag-compliant kayo ha.
First time nila sir dito.
Atlantic Electors. Dati lang, alam ko dati nagbibid na kayo noon pa nung nandun pa kami sa Rabi. Kaya lang, yung pagsali nyo, baka 50-94 pa yan. 50-94 pa yan.
Baka may tanong pa po kayo kasi mahirap na baka ma-disqualify kayo during the opening.
Exact, ano kami dito ha, may tip kami sa time. At exact 10 a.m. magsasara yung pag-accept ng feedback, ay ng bid ninyo. So, pag na-late kayo, inabot kayo ng pagsara, pasensya na. Talagang hindi na tatanggalin yung...
In seconds lang.
Maski seconds lang yan. time na reference natin, meron tayong
Ito, sir.
yan ba o meron tayo sa labas na
Dapat kasi, sir, digital.
digital? Okay. Yan yung,
Sinabihan ko na si Nina, dapat digital din sa labas.
kasi naka ano yan sa standard time.
So, digital. So, wala na pong tanong.
Okay.
Baka po may gray areas. Para
Gray area na lang yata dito, buho ko na lang. Saka si ma'am.
parang tayo, sir, yung nagtatanong, tapos tayo pa yung sumasagot. Okay. So, can I adjourn already?